Have you ever wondered what it feels like to witness raw speed tearing through the skies? A machine so powerful that it can outmaneuver almost anything thrown at it. A fighter jet born out of the intense Cold War rivalry between two superpowers. Now get ready, because today we are going inside the story of one of the most legendary jets ever built, the MiG-29 Fulcrum. And trust me, this is not just another jet, this is the definition of aerial dominance. Before we dive deep into its secrets and unmatched engineering brilliance, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to this channel for more high-level aviation content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our exclusive videos. And remember, the link in the description will take you to the next incredible chapter about a modern Pakistani fighter aircraft, so do not miss that journey. Now back to the Fulcrum. This jet is not just a piece of metal, it is a symbol of innovation created during a time when the world was literally divided into two camps. The Soviet Union needed something fast, agile, and capable of holding its own against American aircraft like the F-15 Eagle and the F-16 Fighting Falcon. The result was the MiG-29, an aircraft that stunned the world when it first appeared. The heart of the Fulcrum lies inside its engines, the Klimov RD-33 turbofans. These engines are the soul of the jet, generating up to 18,400 pounds of thrust with afterburner, giving the MiG-29 the ability to climb almost vertically into the skies. Pilots often described the jet as a rocket with wings. That is how powerful and responsive it was. Imagine sitting inside that cockpit, pulling the stick back, and feeling the jet respond instantly, climbing like a spear thrown into the heavens. That sensation is the reason the MiG-29 earned so much respect among pilots across the globe. The RD-33 engines were compact but highly advanced for their time. They featured modular construction for easier maintenance and allowed the aircraft to achieve blistering speeds of Mach 2.25 while still being extremely agile at low altitudes and high angles of attack. Western analysts were shocked when they first studied the MiG-29's agility in dogfights. It could perform maneuvers like the tail slide, something Western fighters at that time struggled to match. The secret lay not just in raw power but in the aerodynamic design of the Fulcrum, with leading-edge root extensions and blended wing body shaping. The MiG-29 could keep airflow stable at extreme maneuvers. This is what made it so deadly in close-range combat. The cockpit itself was designed with simplicity and combat efficiency in mind. Large analog dials, rugged switches, and visibility optimized for dogfighting. This wasn't about comfort, this was about survival and winning battles. Yet inside that simple-looking cockpit, there was one of the most important innovations of its time, the helmet-mounted sight system. This gave pilots the ability to lock onto targets simply by looking at them, paired with the R-73 Archer missile. This was a game-changer. Western pilots quickly realized they were dealing with something revolutionary inside this machine. Every system worked in harmony, from the engines to the avionics to the weapons, creating a fighter that still sends chills down the spine of anyone who studies it. Another fascinating detail about the Fulcrum is its dual intake design, with doors that could close during takeoff from rough runways and allow air to flow from louvers on top of the intakes. This meant the MiG-29 could operate from improvised airfields, something that gave the Soviet Union a massive tactical advantage. While NATO fighters often required long and clean runways, think about that for a moment, this was a jet that could take off from almost anywhere yet still compete with the best the West had to offer. Inside the structure of the aircraft, titanium and advanced composites were used to balance strength with weight, making it both durable and nimble. The Fulcrum was engineered for war but designed to adapt to any environment, and this adaptability is what gave it such a long service life. Used by more than 25 countries around the world, one of the most dramatic aspects of the Fulcrum was its smoke-producing engines. The RD-33s were infamous for leaving trails during high-throttle maneuvers. This may have been a tactical disadvantage in terms of stealth, but it created one of the most iconic visuals in aviation history: a Fulcrum screaming through the sky with twin plumes of smoke trailing behind it is an image that aviation lovers will never forget. Over the decades, the MiG-29 has evolved from the original 9/12 variant to advanced models like the MiG-29M, MiG-29K carrier-based version, and the highly upgraded MiG-35, which carries advanced radar systems, AESA sensors, improved engines, and modern weapon integration. Inside these newer models, the avionics have transformed completely. Digital glass cockpits replaced old analog dials, advanced data links connected the Fulcrum to modern networks, and electronic warfare suites improved survivability. Yet at its core, it remains the same Fulcrum designed to dominate the skies. One cannot discuss the MiG-29 without mentioning its combat record. It saw service in conflicts from the Gulf War to the Yugoslav wars, and even modern Middle Eastern theaters. Despite sometimes being operated by nations with limited resources, the Fulcrum always commanded respect when it appeared in the skies. Western pilots who faced it acknowledged its capabilities, especially in close-range fights. In fact, NATO gave it the reporting name Fulcrum, which itself reflects balance, power, and versatility, and speaking of balance, let's go back inside its engines because they truly define the aircraft. The RD-33s had one significant drawback: high smoke emissions and lower reliability compared to Western counterparts, but here's the catch: they were designed to be rugged, cheap to produce, and quick to repair. Soviet doctrine demanded quantity and survivability over perfection, and this philosophy worked effectively. The modular construction meant field mechanics could swap out sections of the engine without removing the entire unit, something unheard of in Western designs. This shows how inside the Soviet mindset practicality and battlefield readiness always came first. The MiG-29's weapon systems also deserve admiration. It could carry R-27 medium-range missiles, R-73 short-range missiles, and later versions included precision-guided bombs and even anti-ship missiles. Imagine the versatility: a fighter that could intercept enemy aircraft, engage in dogfights, and strike ground or naval targets. That is the Fulcrum, a multi-role beast. Long before the term became popular today, upgraded MiG-29s remain in service across Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe. Countries like India, Poland, and Serbia still operate them, and even upgrade them to meet modern standards, proving just how effective the original design was. Inside aviation circles, the MiG-29 is seen not just as a jet, but as a symbol of Cold War engineering brilliance, a reminder that the Soviets could create machines that stun the world even without Western resources. And here's where it gets truly fascinating: Pakistan, too, has worked closely with Russian and Chinese technologies in its aviation journey, leading to the development of its own remarkable jets. If you want to see how that story continues, make sure to check out the link in the description, which takes you to our deep dive into a modern Pakistani aircraft that has taken the legacy of jets like the MiG-29 and evolved it into something extraordinary. The MiG-29 Fulcrum is more than a fighter jet. It is history, engine power, innovation, and survival, all packed inside one machine. From its roaring engines to its smoke trails, from its dogfighting agility to its battlefield ruggedness, it tells the story of an era when the skies were the ultimate arena for superpower rivalry. And while newer jets may surpass it in stealth, sensors, and efficiency, the Fulcrum remains an icon, respected, loved, and studied to this day. So before we wrap up, hit that like button if you learned something new today, subscribe to the channel for more exclusive aviation content, and do not forget the most important part: check out the description for the next chapter of the story featuring the Pakistani fighter jet that carries this legacy forward, because aviation is not just about machines, it is about evolution. And the Fulcrum is proof of that.